You're listening to the Entrepreneurs Next Door podcast.
Work's been breaking my back, already packing my bags. Punch that time card like a ticket out of here.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Entrepreneurs Next Door podcast with Rocky from Saffron Mediterranean Cuisine. Passion. If you ever had the privilege of meeting Rocky in person, the word passion will come to mind. His passion for family, for food, for connecting with others is remarkable. From an exchange student to a motivational speaker, you won't believe the skill set this man possesses. This podcast felt like we were having a conversation in his living room. He has that type of impact on others. Be sure to listen and find out where he was born. Hint, it was not here in the USA. Please enjoy. All right, this is Barry Hoover. I'm here with Rocky from Saffron Mediterranean Cuisine here in Haddonfield, New Jersey. And today, our podcast interview is in Garguso Classical Martial Arts, right here in beautiful Haddonfield. And we've got a chance to know Rocky pretty much since you opened doors. We were like around and at the restaurant, and it's amazing and all that fresh food and being able to meet you like right away, yes. which was pretty special insofar as you make everybody feel like you're in your living room.
Thank you.
Yeah, that hospitality is besides the food being at a high level is what separates you. So first, thank you for being on today.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me here today.
We have a full story that we've got pieces of, and for today, our starting point was teenage years. How did this journey, entrepreneurial-wise, how did it get started for you?
Well, first of all, like I said, thank you very much, Barry, for having me here today. I love my life and my story of my journey, especially in America, because when I came to this country, I was age 14 years old. I was an exchange student from the Mediterranean culture, basically being Turkish and Persian. My mom and my dad, and the area my father was from, that was called Azerbaijan. Today is a small little country. And it was for me very intriguing when I was young teenagers and think about the American dreams and come to this country to become one of those American dreams. And I was lucky enough to family in California to sponsor me to come in, and then they were nice enough to help me and give me room and board, and I lived with that family until age 18 years old. And I continued my journey. I went to the Fresno State University, and I continued going to school and get my biology degree. And of course, when I was in college, I had a tremendous eagerness come to working and try to improve my life and different stuff. And one of my passion was actually become a doctor. And but those days of unfortunately financially I was not forced to do that. So I started working in restaurant business. And after a few years passed by, I got a scholarship in East Coast, and I decided to come to East Coast from California. And I got an opportunity to work with my brother-in-law. Of course, those days he wasn't my brother-in-law, but I started working for his restaurants and in the Philadelphia area. And I really respect food business because it's a very tough business, but it's enjoyable because you work with the public and you try to bring smile on people's faces, and you have to just to be love what you're doing. And of course, it's a tough business. But one of the greatest things I really cherish is I start going back to my dream to be a doctor. So I continue working in a restaurant business and financially start little by little to go into dental. And of course, later date I went to New York and I was accepted in the NYU University. And I continued my education over there. In the meantime, I was working as a chef in the several different restaurants. And I continued working going to school, and after the several years later, I got my doctorate degree in dental implantology. And even today, I'm practicing 4 days a week, doing dental implant. A lot of people, they don't know about that, but I enjoy that tremendously. But the passion I have for the food was not because of just putting smile in customers, and that's why the customer comes to my restaurants or from my office, my patient. I do the same exact things. I have that family-oriented. I'm very down to earth because it's life is all about the love you bring to your business, to your family, and that's what I try to do. My business is not just business. It's love I'm trying to bring to my patients when I'm working with dental implants, or the customer coming to a restaurant, they want to have a nice dish of food, whatever they want to have, or if they want to have something, appetizer. So I want to just let them know this is a love coming from the passion. That's a very, very important, because you believe that love is come from internally, not just because it's a business.
So that passion insofar as like making it feel like family, whether you're in a chair doing a dental implant or an appetizer at the restaurant, where did that understanding or that passion insofar as that connection with family to serving, hospitality-wise, did that come from being a kid? Was that the culture in your house, or was it learned with your brother-in-law in a restaurant feel? Like, where did that start for you?
Well, I found myself a very, very lucky person. I have a very tough life growing up in this country, because I didn't have no mom, no dad, no sister, no brother. I was by myself in this country. So by leaving my family behind and coming over here by myself, of course, was something for me to always cherish family. So even if I see some other friends or some other people in the public, I felt like I don't my family, because I felt this is family supposed to be. And I was lucky enough to meet my wife, and her family is wonderful. They are Sicilians from Italy, and they are like a very warm-blooded. So when they invite me to their house, I felt that happiness and the family or reunion, and that was tremendous. So that's, I think, is very important, because in any business, in any professional life, you have to be happy. And if you're happy internally and you're happy in the family, you can become a better person, and you can do things not because, like I said to you always, not because of the business. It's just because you enjoy to do it. And I do enjoy what I do, and I have a lot of passions. I do a lot of different things because I want to do it, not because I have to do it.
It's a big difference, right, between a have to and a get to?
Yes, it is.
If we could learn that. So our recap so far in your journey, you're a doctor, dentist, have a restaurant. Did those two professions for you, were they always parallel? Did one kind of take over for a while? And then how did that bring us to like this spot here insofar as one place here in Haddonfield? If you could connect those two big dots.
Sure.
I'd love to hear.
Well, of course, the food business was very important to me, because, again, like I mentioned before, for me, it's very important to grow in the country. I didn't have no family or anything else, so I had to make ends meet, and the food business and being a chef and helped me to go and try to get my degree in the dental implantology from NYU was very, very important to me. So right off the bat, I would say, yeah, the food business was very number one respect I have towards. And of course, I enjoy to be a dental implantologist and being in that part of the clinical part of it and working with the patient. Also, I enjoyed a lot, because that was my dream. So I had a dream, but before I get to my dream, what helped me to capture that dream, to get to that dream, was food, hospitality, one-on-one with the customers. And that's why I have more respect, because that helped me to get to my dream. Of course, talking about why I'm in Haddonfield and how did I come to Haddonfield is, of course, the Haddonfield is a beautiful town. I mean, it's a historical, and always, since I live in the New Jersey, always my favorite town has been Haddonfield, Princeton, New Jersey. I like the old culture. I like the historical part of American history. That's what I like. And when you go to those kind of towns, you feel family, you feel unity, and that's what I like. You talk about when I used to be a young kid, I used to remember American families go to church, go to the synagogue, go to they get together, and they used to have a family Sunday dinners, and that's what the old towns like Haddonfield remind you to. So, of course, I always loved Haddonfield. And funny story was my son-in-law today, B, he was a gentleman, actually made me to go back to food business again. After many, many years, I was away from food business. My daughter decided to date a chef, and of course, he was a nice gentleman, and of course, he became engaged with my daughter, and I said, oh my God, so if you're going to become in my family, then you have to be an entrepreneur. And he said to me, Dad, what do you mean entrepreneur? I said, that means you have to work every day, day in and night. And that's very, very funny part of it, because he didn't know I was in the food business and I was a chef myself. Because he saw me today as a dental implantologist and working with a patient, and he thought I was always working with a patient. So that's how I came to Haddonfield, New Jersey, and we found a very nice spot. And we decided brainstorm from my past and the future and try to have a trendy but very different type of food. Basically, our food is we call fusion of Mediterranean. It's not from one culture. So what we did this bunch of studies, and we tried to figure out what is really complement for the towns like Haddonfield, the historical part, people that come into this town. So we decided to have a fusion part of the Mediterranean cultures. So we chose 5 different countries: Turkey, Greece, south of France, Israel, and Turkey. So because of having those 5 countries put together, we decided to make sure that everything we make in our restaurant, to make sure bring it to tables, called freshness. And that's what we talk about, freshness. And remind me to the day I was growing up as a teenager. My grandmom, she used to go, we used to call, today call them market, but those days they used to call bazaar. You used to go to bazaar and you used to buy your vegetable, you buy your chicken and your meat and anything you need for that day. And you used to buy it that day, you cook it that day, and you eat it that day. And that's all she wrote. And that's how we do it in our culture in the Haddonfield. And that's the concept we have. We have a smaller restaurant, but we want to have a freshness. Like we always tell to our customer, freshness, to do like my grandmom used to do.
Right. When I was preparing for our talk today, one of the things I wrote down was, what's it like to work with family? Mm-hmm. Like have business with family members. I have my own experience with it, and that was before hearing like how important that family feel is, and so what I guessed you would say is going to be totally different now. So I say all that to say, what does it mean to you, to have a restaurant but with family? Because it went from what's it like. I know that's not really a question. The question is, what's it mean to you?
Well, to me, it means a lot, because I was the guy started this journey from the young kid, and then get married, and then have 2 daughters, and having a son-in-laws, and hopefully someday I'm going to have grandchildren. So it's a journey keep going up and going up. So to me it means a lot, because a life, again, going back to, I'm probably going to talk about that all my life to my children's and my grandchildren's. Love is about family. And restaurant business or any other business you are in, especially the family, as long as you can divide the time of the family and the business portion of it, you'll be fine. But when you let that family and the business get together, and that's the time it's not going to be fun anymore. So my rules as a godfather of my family, I tell to everybody, my son-in-laws, my daughters, my wife, everybody, we talk only business at business. When we leave that door, we go home, we're going to have fun, because now we are family. And that's my rules. And I'm a godfather. I will do that.
I love that. Would you call being an entrepreneur, would you call that a calling?
I think so. To be entrepreneur is something you have to. Entrepreneur is not, I'll be honest with you, is not easy thing to do, but it's not hard thing to do either, because it's about passion, what you want to have. It's not about, sometimes people think so it's about money. Sometimes people think so it's about the power. It's not that. It's about the achievement. achievement you can do every single day for your life. I mean, when you do achievement in your life, 1, 2, 3, and they become part of your life, it's like, oh, that's no problem. You can do it. Just like an example, just going back to food business or my dental business. If the guy has never done dental implant and I give him my tools, I go, here we go, you do the dental, he would not know from the left to right. Or something, I tell the guy, why don't you go make a lamb shank? He would not know how to do it. But if you're doing it day in and day out, it becomes part of your life. As long as that achievement you're doing and you keep doing it, may bring enjoyment. When it's not enjoyment, then they just forget it. That's not going to be good. That's the entrepreneur to my definition. Entrepreneur is not about just the money. It's not about just the power. It's about the achievement you create in your life, the time you go through, the life you have from a kid, teenager, then you become a man and a woman, and you continue to become an old person whenever God has given you life to live. And that's achievement. I think every one of us, we are, somehow, some way, we are entrepreneur, but different ways of entrepreneurs.
Now, I know you have the privilege to speak to some underprivileged kids and students about the American dream, about your road. If you could give maybe like 1 or 2 of the major points that you communicate with when you're with them.
Yes.
Because I feel like it connects to your answer to that last
yes.
one. So if you could enlighten us, we would love to hear that.
Absolutely. Well, like I say, when I came over this country, I was a young boy, and I came because of an American dream. And I went through a lot of hard time, and because being not financially stable and try to work day and night, 7 days a week, 12 months a year, and I had a dream, and I had to get my dream. And by somebody coming to this country without not speaking any English and having any support of a family or anything like that, the only thing I could do just look front of me and try to go forward and not even look back, because I didn't have no time to look back what's going on behind me. And about 10 years ago, one of my good friends heard my story about how I came to this country and what I have achieved. And she told me, something, if you do not mind, I would like to invite you to one of the high schools in the, basically the neighborhood. The kids may need that story about your life. And I was being honored to do that. That was 10 years ago, but past 10 years, I tried to go some New Jersey, Delaware, and Pennsylvania in the high school. The basically low-income family lives, and the kids, they need the help with some motivational, some ideas. So I go and talk to them, and sometimes it's beginning of the year, sometimes it's right before they graduate. And actually, it's one of my passion. I really love that, because I think that's one of the most important things I do in my life today. And I go talk to the young kids. They feel maybe they cannot approach the next level in their life. I share with them true story, what I came from and what I have achieved. And I tell them in my punchline, if I can do it, you can do it. And that's bottom line is this is the America, and whenever you want to do, you can achieve it as long as you want bad enough. That's the whole thing.
That's awesome. One of the ways that we like to wrap up conversation-wise is have our guest kind of define what success means to you. And going off of our conversation, you can touch on any topics. Mm-hmm. Feel free.
Yes.
I'm enjoying the talk so much. So you can hit on any topics you want to. But at this stage in life, where you are today, what is success to you?
Success is, I can tell you without any hesitation, is my family. My family has always been what I achieve in my life, my journey, and what I see around me with my beautiful wife and my 2 daughters, my 2 son-in-laws, and hopefully some grandchildren in the futures. That's my success. And I want to continue do certain things in society, not just because I want to thank you. I just want to do because we as a human being, we have to do what has to be done. Doesn't matter if you're in your restaurant, doesn't make difference in your clinic, doesn't make difference in the society. We should do what it takes to make our neighbors, our friends, our family smile on their face, make it that day better. Because even if it's a cloudy day and you can put a smile on people's face, that's called success. And that's what I look at the success all about.
Yeah. And you are successful at that. As I said
Thank
at the very
you.
beginning,
Thank you.
Going into your restaurant, it's like I'm in your living room.
I appreciate it.
And that's it's unique.
Thank you.
So, Rocky, thanks for your time. Thank you for your story. Thank you for the. It's encouraging. Your story is. It's motivational. It's humbling, right? As I'm listening, it's like privileged, right? Like you notice, spots you were privileged in. So when your story is important. I know it's going to affect a lot of people. So thank you.
Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it for your time.